What's up, you guys? I'm really excited because we have a queen in the house. Her name is Christina Elizabeth Smith, and we're talking about her acting career and her new role on NCIS, so stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AFTERBUZZ TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
We just hit it off, you guys. This is Nicki Minaj's verse in Future song. We both share a mutual love for the same music genre. So it's already off to a great start. Christina Elizabeth Smith is in the house, you guys. She has a bunch of television credits, including Days of Our Lives, The Young and the Restless, Grey's Anatomy, Jimmy Kimmel Live, Wacko Smacko, but now most recently NCIS New Orleans. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the newest role that you have taken on?
Absolutely. I think talking about the roles more fun.
She is fun. She's not gassing herself up enough, you guys. I'll do it for her. She's awesome.
Okay, I'll take it. Well, I've been acting as long as I can possibly remember. I moved out to LA when I was young, we'll just say that. So 10 years ago, and then I've just been down in NOLA like the last year working, and I got NCIS New Orleans, and it's been really amazing. I've been playing Ginny Young, which is Scott Bakula on the show's new assistant, and it's kind of been a dream role. So,
yeah, how is working with him?
He's I feel like I can't say enough nice things about him. He's such a generous person. He's a role model to just like watch him work and watch the way he interacts with people. He's very collaborative and will like leave room for almost improv. There were opportunities that we had with that on set. So he's just
amazing.
incredible. He's incredible.
I love when I hear that, because I think with actors, it's so obviously you have to rely on yourself, but it just makes it such a more enjoyable experience when your colleagues are great and allow you that creative space.
Yeah, and I love that you said rely on yourself, because I think so often actors get in the trap of just wanting to be what they think everybody wants them to be, and that trust in yourself and your art and going to set with that, and then having other people that are that grounded, and then having that come together and be collaborative is where we create magic and stories that are fun for everyone to watch. So,
and speaking of fun, you guys, Christina's the best. She brought me Cafe Du Monde, a coffee from New Orleans, because you were shooting there. Can you tell me about your experience in that city? Have you been there before?
I had never been to New Orleans. I knew nothing about it.
Beignets.
Beignets. Well, that's what this place is famous for, beignets. So I'm like, I have to bring you something from
so
Cafe Du Monde.
Awesome.
I knew nothing about the culture. I mean, I'm Southern. I'm from Nashville, so I know a little bit about like the Southern culture, but this is a completely different kind of culture. And getting to go to a new city and explore it in this way, I think I was a little scared at first because it's a total change. I don't know anything or how to get anywhere, but it's also been a gift because it operates like no other city I've ever seen. It feels very European to me. The people are, I feel like they've taught me a lot just about the balance of being very driven and, future thinking, but they're so good at living. And so good at just being like grateful, and I don't know. I feel like
awesome.
The people have been a gift, for sure. That I don't think I'll ever forget, like the lessons they've taught me.
Oh, that's so awesome. And I've heard this before. I cover a show here, Cloak and Dagger, and they shoot in New Orleans. And it's a similar thing where the cast is like being in that city made the experience of acting on whatever role they were playing so amazing. That's just great to hear that you get to be in a town, like, because you could be anywhere.
You could be anywhere, and I think anywhere is going to have its own gifts. But if something's based in New Orleans, you have to shoot it in New Orleans.
Yes,
because the tone of New Orleans is just so magic, and you can feel the history, and you can feel almost like everybody says it's haunted, and you can feel this extra spirit that it has, and you want to honor that by shooting there if it's supposed to be set
definitely there. And that's what I love about NCIS New Orleans, because you have to tell the stories of the city. It wouldn't do it justice. What is your favorite part about playing this role, and what other role? I know that you've done some comedy as well. This is a little bit different of a role, and what's the difference in that experience?
Well, as far as being different from comedy, I'm asked that question a lot. Like, what do you prefer to do, comedy or drama? But I always go back to, like, ultimately comedy and drama are the same thing. They're still telling a truth. So it just depends on the tone of what you're doing that in. So it's hard to ever choose because it always just depends on the story. But I
don't think you even have to choose anymore. That we see shows like Barry, where it's just this dramedy, and that's become my favorite genre.
Yeah, because you just have you put levity and comedy into dramas a lot because it's like you have to break that tension, and that's what we do as humans. You know,
Totally.
We make a joke when things are really awkward, and I love to see that incorporated into dramas. Because it's realistic.
Yes.
And so, and as far as like playing Ginny on this show, it's been a really big gift because Ginny is somebody that I feel like has made me better as a human, which are my favorite roles, or ones that teach me something working on them. Ginny is just, you know, she goes through a lot. I get kidnapped in the show, and I'm also working in a, you know, because I'm Scott Bakula's assistant, I'm still a young woman working in a man's world and wanting to prove that. And I really felt that going in, even on the first day, and in like the smaller scenes of like, I'm still surrounded by men and I want to be respected. And I think that every woman knows what that feels like. And so that was really important for me to be like, Ginny has something to say, and to maintain that strength, and also show that you can have that strength and vulnerability, which happened, you know, when I get kidnapped and all of that. So being able to step into the writing that they gave me in that episode where I was kidnapped was a gift as well, because Ginny goes through everything that she does, and she's still like, no, I want to help fix this problem and find this guy. And it's like, I questioned, would I be that strong, or would I just want to crawl up and be a victim, you know? So she's so brave, and I think that was a huge gift and makes me want to be better.
So you're talking a lot about how you've learned from Ginny, but when you're playing these roles, are you pulling from personal experiences, or are you trying to just get a grip of the character being written for you?
I think when I create a character, it's first from pure creativity. Like, I want to see their world first. But I think inherently personal experiences, there's always going to be bias and personal experience that are going to sneak in there. So it's interesting to see like what sneaks in when I start to think about Ginny's world, when I start to think about like, you know, dropping off even like a folder to a guy, what does that bring up in me? So I think that the two kind of meld together, if that makes sense.
No, totally.
Yeah, so that both what that looks like in her world visually, and then what that brings up for me emotionally, and like melding them together. Where still I'm honoring her story first, not pulling from my own emotional past, but seeing what it bubbles up in me, because then it's there to kind of teach me something, and I can use that as fuel.
Is this what kind of drew you into acting, this idea of creation and creativity at its core?
Yeah, I love acting so much because I don't feel like being me is fulfilling enough for my life. I want to feel what it feels like. So this is an opportunity to touch that and feel what it feels like to be other people, and expand in that way. Because then I feel more connected to other people.
And that gives you, in turn, a better understanding of your real, like, how you navigate real life?
Yeah, because I come back, I go into a story and absorb that story and learn something that maybe I wasn't wanting to look at about myself, or a bias or something. It's the same when we watch a great movie. We're like, oh, I didn't know about that in the world. And then we come back to our regular life and we're kinder, or we're more patient, or more accepting. And so it makes me better in that way, too.
I love hearing your response about this, because so often we have actors who are, and people in the entertainment industry and hosts are not exempt from this, where it's driven by a narcissism and the stardom, but instead you're kind of, I feel, a good true artist. Like, you're really trying to get into those roles and portray human nature in the ways that you can stay true to the characters.
Thank you. That's a huge compliment. Thank you.
Well, I'm excited. It's exciting for me as a viewer because we at AfterBuzz are obviously TV and film buffs. So anytime we get to meet actors and producers and writers who are really in it for the art, it's beautiful to watch. What roles would you want? What is your role that you need to play in sometime in your life?
Okay, I have quite a few.
Oh, give it to me.
I really want to. So I did a play last year, maybe more than a year ago, which is crazy, a year and a half ago. Played a woman. It's based on Pygmalion, which is My Fair Lady.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
But she's
Audrey Hepburn.
Instead of being Cockney, she's from the Bronx, and it's still one of my favorite roles I've ever played. And I really want to do something from that world, like play gritty character, the kind of character where everybody's like, you need to be fixed, you need to be reformed. But she's like, no, I've got it figured out. Y'all are the ones that are, trying to tell me to change, because that's essentially what these stories are about. Like, everybody's trying to fix her and fix
yes.
And it usually comes around to her finding herself and realizing, like, I wasn't broken.
Yeah.
Y'all are just judging me. So I love those kind of characters. So really someone from the Bronx that's really feisty I want to play. And then I really want to do period pieces. Like...
And those have become, just with technology and the resources we have with streaming networks, those have become so well done.
I just have like images of playing like a period woman. Again, it's about women being positions where we feel limited. I love those roles where it's like you're stuck by something. And I see like playing a woman in a period piece that is like stuck by her circumstances and trying to take care of her children, and yet she's so limited. And I love telling that story in the past, because I think it highlights problems that we have now. That it's like these things are still going on. We may not have the same clothes, and it may not be in everybody's face, but these issues are still going on. So that is really appealing to me as well. But I just want to play so many.
Yes, I can't wait. Unfortunately, this went by so fast. We do have to wrap. Where can we find you? And tell us about when NCIS airs, so people maybe who haven't started this season can get
Absolutely.
Get with
of course,
it.
you can watch like back episodes on CBS.com, and then it airs Tuesdays at 9. And always watch it and support these amazing people, because they have been such a gift to know. So.
And you?
Yeah.
Where do we find you?
Oh, and then find me. Always forget me. Mostly on Instagram. I only really use Instagram. So that's Christina Elizabeth Smith is my handle on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see, and I have to see you in a Pygmalion role and all the roles for your future. I'm excited. I'm Steph Sabraw. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Steph Sabraw. Thank you so much for being in studio. Happy holidays, you guys. Happy New Year's. We will see you in 2019.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.